Welcome, witches! I'm so grateful to see you popping in today. Park your brooms by the door, because now the witch is in. Blessed be. I'm Amelia Noir, and I'm here to share with you my knowledge and experience on all things witchy. Like spellcasting, potion making, and kitchen witchery, to name a few. So if that sounds like your cup of witch's brew, I suggest that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you don't miss any witchy content. Today, we're going to make our air elemental incense. So here I have my little jar that I'm going to be putting in. I have my mortar and pestle. And I have lavender, lemongrass, and star anise. This is what we're going to make our incense out of. So I'm going to start with the star anise. And I'm just going to take pieces because I don't want to wreck the whole ones. I like using the whole ones in spells. So, and you know you always get pieces. So I use maybe one more little piece. Find a piece in here. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna pound. Okay. Now, love the smell of star anise. Oh. Especially when you get the whole pieces and you pound it, just kind of explodes with that licorice kind of a smell. Okay, so we're grinding clockwise to bring in the vibration so that you can use your air elemental mirror. Try saying that fast 3 times. It's tongue-tying for me anyways. So when you're using your air element, if you have a fan, now a lot of people go, well, how do you do that? If you have a fan, like even, and you just put it on low, it does circulate the air. And with the incense burning in front of it, it does go around the room quite nicely. And it gives you the scent so that you can concentrate on your communing with the air element. And because you have a nice breeze there, it kind of gets you into the mood. It just swirls around you, especially if you're in a smaller room. In a big room, it really doesn't seem to matter much. But in a smaller room, if you get it, so it will go right around the room, and it creates kind of like a tornado effect, so that all the energy is just swirling around you instead of just kind of going out. It gives you this tornado effect. which kind of keeps the energy flowing around you instead of going wherever, like in a bigger place. And so I like smaller rooms. I have a small room, and it's just where I practice. But to each their own. So I'm going to be putting in some lemongrass. I'm going to get some more of this stuff. I'm running out. So when you're grinding, you can put your intent in to commune with your air elemental spirits, entities. And then the last one is lavender. 2, maybe one more. 3. And we'll be starting on our creating our mirrors soon. And with the incense, all of these items that we are putting together, it'll all come together in the final video for each of the elements, where I give you a very simple and short activation spell. Some people, they have very elaborate incantations and chants and things that they use when communing with elements. But this one's a very simple one to kind of get your feet wet and get you on the path, and then you can, if you're very, very interested in it, we can continue and go into more depth on each of the elements if that's something that people are interested in. But I'm doing this series only because a lot of people have been asking, well, how do you use the elements? If you're not using a deity, how are you using the elements? How do you do that? Because it's not in the Wiccan format. There's nothing wrong with it, but they tend to focus more on the deity. They do call in the quarters, and when they cast their circles, but it's not a big focus on the elements. It's kind of a supporting role more than the star of the show. So I'm just kind of elaborating on the elements themselves to shed a little bit more light on how you can use elemental magic, and to familiarize yourself with each element, and maybe even find a favorite one. You can start off with any one you like. It doesn't really matter. A lot of people, they think that just because their particular astrological sign is an air sign or an earth sign or a water sign, that they would be more prone to working with that particular element, but that's not that's not always so. And you should have a more balanced energy flow with the elements that you're using. It just helps if you do have a relationship. Then you can use each element for their strength. And you don't even need to use all of them every time. You can just use water. You can just use air. You can just use one. There's no rule saying that you have to have all of them on there and you have to use all. No, it depends on the spell that you're doing. It depends on what area it's in. If it's a healing spell, if it's a grounding spell, if it's a spell to get a job, or if it's a spell to do good on a test, you can use each one of these elemental mirrors to do those spells that correspond to the element that you're working with. Once you kind of get into it, it's not that difficult. It's pretty common sense. It's correspondences, and that's all you're doing. It's the same as your deities. Your deity has a particular affinity to certain types of energy. Like you have the goddess of fertility, the goddess of love, the goddess of nurturing, okay, and that's what she stands for. But then you have another one, which is another female in the same pantheon, different pantheon, doesn't matter. But she's the goddess of war, the goddess of death, the goddess of revenge, the goddess of this is destruction. So you use this particular deity when you're doing those kinds of spells. You're not going to go and ask this particular goddess to do a revenge spell when she's all about fertility. It doesn't make any sense. It's not the right vibration. It's totally different thing, which is exactly what you're doing, but you're using the elements instead. The elements do have elementals, spirits, and they have elemental entities that are on the other side that work within that element in a different realm or plane or whatever you want to call it. They are just next door or adjacent to our reality, and that's why they are so close to us. Okay, I've got that all ground up there. So now we're going to put this in our jar. Don't forget to put your intention in your incense. And I'm going to go and throw mine on my windowsill until we get our mirrors made. That's all for today. I'll see you next time on The Witch's Inn.
Check out the link below for the correspondences and magical properties of the items used in this video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you don't miss any witchy content our three sisters have brewing for you here on The Witch's Inn.